Okay, hi everybody, hey guys, welcome back to Wondrous Women virtual talk show, guys. Yes, guys, as I mentioned, this talk show is on the occasion of Women's Day special, but the motive of this talk show is talking to women from different sectors of life in which they have accomplished something, and one is the most common thing that between all of these women we've been talking to, they think that success has always been a process for them. They have achieved and accomplished something in their life, but they don't want to stop there. They just want to keep moving ahead. But today's woman is been such a privilege to have her here. Okay, so guys, her name I'm going to tell you soon. But today we have women in tech. Now, when I say tech, guys, let me just confess it. I don't know ABC out of it. Okay, the only thing tech that I know comes from my husband because he is been into IT for I think it's more than 20-25 years already. So the reason I'm telling about my husband right now is this wonderful lady, this wondrous lady that we are going to have in the talk show today is one of the acquaintances from my husband himself. He had told me so many amazing things about her, and then I went to her profile. I just went through her work that she's been doing, and it has been, I would say, more than wondrous. So it's such a pleasure that I am having Miss Manjula showcased. No, let me say this. Let me work on the tech language. I'm so happy to deploy you, Miss Manjula, because there she is. Hi, Manjula. I'm
Hi.
so happy to have you live on the Wondrous Women virtual talk show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Shweta. It is an honor to be here. So nice of you to have me on this platform. So great. It's absolutely wonderful.
Thank you so much. So Manjula, I've heard so many amazing things from you, but one of the most important reasons that, or I would say a topic that I really want to talk about is, of course, I want to know that, how did you get this? What are you doing today? And I want to know, how did you get into this tech IT life? And I think creating wonders and I don't want to be like, a gender thing like that, but I've seen very few women really become very successful when it comes to IT, when it comes to tech. And that's one of the reason I think, I don't know how you guys get this balance done. So today, I think I want to know more secrets about how did you get this success in whatever you're doing right now. At the same time, we are also going to talk about this work-life balance that you are really famous for, because this is what I have been understanding since knowing more about you. But before that, my first question, Manjula, for today is, tell us about your...
I am from Kerala, but I've been, Pune has been my...
Yeah, Manjula, hold on a minute. Okay, so I need to, hold on. This one? This is good? Okay. So the live stream which we are doing just went out of the frame and I got a message, so I'm happy. Sounds good? Okay. Yes. Sorry, Manjula. Please continue.
All right. Like I said, my name is Manjula Introduction, and I'm from Kerala, but Pune has been my city for more than 25 years. I was born in a village, I should say a small town in north of Kerala, called Talipparamba in the district of Kannur. An only girl with 3 brothers.
Wow.
But I wasn't pampered.
I was about to ask you that question.
Yeah, I had to compete. And my father was a lawyer, my mother was a teacher. So throughout my childhood, education had a significant importance. And they knew that there is nothing, you can't make anything out of yourself if you don't focus on education, right? So everything has been about education, and not just education. It was well-rounded education too. My mother made sure that I had access to as many books as possible when I was a child. I think when I was in 9th standard, I believe one of her colleagues told her that I don't think there were any more books that I could read from the school library. So she made sure that I had access to anything and everything that I can read and accumulate knowledge.
Wow.
So that's the kind of thing that I thank my mother for. She was the first, maybe, yeah, I think she was the first woman in my father's family to work. So that set an example for me from childhood, right?
Yeah.
So there was no question about not working. But my objective was to be like her, a teacher, and wear all those nice saris that she used to wear to school.
I know, so
That is-
beautiful. Yes.
That is what I wanted to be. But I think my parents and my brothers saw a lot more than that in me. And if it was not for them, I wouldn't be here. I give all the credit to three of my brothers and my parents. I was all set to do my degree in maths. That's all I wanted to do. And I think my brothers and my mother decided for me. And I think on hindsight, that was the right decision, that I could do a lot more. And they made me write the entrance exam for engineering. I had no idea what I was writing for, but I went and wrote and I cleared. And I did my engineering from Engineering College, Trivandrum. I studied in government schools. I studied in Malayalam medium. So moving into something like this was difficult because I couldn't speak English.
Okay.
Right. So that, if you ask me for some challenges, that was what I started with. When I finished my engineering, I went back home and I had a small teaching job there, and I was happy with that. And again, my brothers said, this is not what she's supposed to do. And they moved me to Bangalore, put me in Bangalore, and then said, find a job for yourselves and start earning. And I worked for two small companies, and then I got a break with Infosys.
Wow.
That's where I met Samir as well.
Yes.
Your husband. I had a small break in between, but I spent 20 years.
I know.
And that's a company that made me who I am today. And if you ask me, even today, if you ask me what is a dream company, it was that Infosys that I had joined way back in 93. It made us what we are. It taught us the corporate lessons. It also taught us the values that we live by. I went on to work with other organizations like HSBC, prestigious organization in their technology division. I worked with the social enterprise for India called Socion, and now I am with Avlara. But throughout my stint for the past 20 years, I have also been involved in a lot of activities around social work.
Yeah.
So I've managed quite a lot of that as part of my day-to-day work, and I feel really proud that maybe I have been able to influence at least a couple of people.
I'm sure. That's what I've heard a lot about it. So could you please tell us about this social work that you started with, and what are you doing nowadays with the same? If you could just tell us more.
Sure. So I started as a volunteer. I still have those friends who were volunteers way back in late 90s. They are good friends.
Yeah.
We still share notes on what we could do better. So we started as volunteers in Infosys Pune, where we wanted to actually reach out and do a lot of work. And all of us formed an NGO with, of course, a lot of positive feedback from Mrs. Murthy herself. Saying you can definitely go ahead and form an NGO. It's called Spasha Healing Touch, and with that, we were able to take up a lot of work. Now, Spasha Healing Touch is an NGO that gets contribution from mostly employees of Infosys Pune, and we've worked with more than 20 NGOs, supporting children in education, supporting people who need help where they are in a medical crisis. I think one of our most ambitious projects were to build a school for Man village near Hijwar. And that was a dream project. It took us more than 2 years, but we were able to build extremely good building from employee contribution for Man village in 2 years' time. From where the children didn't have even a desk to sit, where they were sitting on the floor whole, to a absolutely amazing building. That's been one of the biggest success stories that we were able to deliver as a team.
It's amazing, because right now when you said that, from the floor to a building, it just gave me goosebumps right now. So truly.
And I still continue. I mean, today I am a proud trustee of an NGO called Atmaja. Atmaja means our daughter,
Yeah.
and we manage about 200 plus girls and their education today. So I have two colleagues, ex-colleagues from Infosys who are trustees. It was started by Preeti Rao, who is the senior vice president of Infosys.
Yeah.
And we support more than 200 children, girl children, for their education. So that's a work that we do in parallel to our regular work.
It's amazing because it's talking about women empowerment is, because we all talk about it, but I think you guys are actually doing it, Manjula, because as you mentioned in the beginning itself, that your education is the base, and I would say that's a true empowerment. Once you know that you've done it, and I think that starts the journey. So fabulous. This is such an honor and privilege to listen to what you're saying. Thank you so much. So as you mentioned that your journey started as a teacher. So my next question comes with that whatever you're doing right now, or whatever started right away in Bangalore, was it by choice, Manjula, or just because you became an engineer? And then I'm sure that time 25 years back, IT was really booming high, and it was like, I think, a richest paid line ever. I think that's one of the reasons 17-20 years back I really got impressed by my husband when being an architect, I was struggling to get earnings and out of it, and he was like, oh, you guys used to earn really nice. Even today, the same thing. So it was booming up. So how was this journey about? By choice, whatever you were doing it, or you just went with the flow, or was there any thought process involved in the process?
To be very frank, Shweta, there was no thought process behind it.
Yeah.
That's what you would get from most of the people
Yes.
who were engineers at that point of time.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it was 30 years back, not even 25 years back, way back. Yes, I was a computer science engineer, and I was looking to get a job which was in the area of computer science, of course,
Yeah.
right? And Infosys happened, and it was the right time to be in Infosys at that point of time. And let me tell you, before I joined Infosys, I did have 2 jobs, and you were talking about well-paid jobs. My first salary was 1,900 rupees per month. It was.
So
It wasn't.
now I think we started in the same boat, because being an architect, ask us, like we used to get stipend not more than 1,500 to 2,000. So yes, I know that feeling, Manjula. Yes.
Yeah, but then of course it jumped to 5,000, which is like really big.
Yes.
Right, so like you asked, it wasn't really something which I planned, and I had something like I want to be here by this time. No,
Yes.
it wasn't, right? But there's one thing that I would definitely tell you is that my mother taught us to be good in everything that we do, and she emphasized on do well, do the best that you can, right? So whatever success that I have today is not about, I want to be in a particular place, but it is all about, if I am doing this job, I need to do this job really well. Then it automatically takes me to the next one.
Absolutely.
I think that's how I would put it.
Such a wonderful said thing, because I'm sure all the moms, yes, we moms, even I have a daughter who's like 14. I also tell her, whatever you do the best. But such a beautiful thing, Manjula, that you really, made sure that you follow it. And I think that's one of the reasons you are here, wherever, I would say in the shining armor, because maybe this is just one of the step in your life or a process in your life, but the way we see you is shining in the armor of tech. This is what I can say. So amazing. So this talk is getting more and more interesting, because as I mentioned before, I have never ever talked to any women in tech or into this IT industry. So I'm really excited to know more. So with this, I want to ask you, is there any specific, once you started this journey, was there any specific inspiration to you or a role model to you that, hey, you know what, I'm here now, but I look forward to this person, or this is my inspiration, that I want to be like that? Was there any specific person or any kind of inspiration that you would like to share?
So I don't want to really say that this was I'm very open about it. We had very few women role models when we
Yes.
started.
Absolutely.
Very few, right? But there were some of those few. We definitely did say that, oh my God, look at her, she's already reached the stage at this age, right?
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah.
But then if you look at the industry itself, right, there are so many people who are doing what, usually is not stereotyped as a woman's role. One of the persons that I had the privilege to listen to a couple of times is Nainala Kidwai. I was with HSBC and it was wonderful to actually listen to her speak, right? Someone who was the chairperson for HSBC.
Yeah.
And at the time, you don't see in the financial world as well, I'm sure Samir can actually tell you, right?
Yeah.
IT and finance together, right? I mean, you don't see such people, right? And I've read her forward in the book of Linen that she'd written, and that's one example. And there are so many people, that you see on the other side, on the social side also in India, who's made so much of a difference, right? So I wouldn't say that I had one single role model.
Yeah.
There are multiple. And I should also say this, right? There are so many that you get actually from your family itself.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked about my mother. I will never stop talking about her, right? She worked for 32 years. Every city that we visited in India, we would find one of her students. I admired my husband. I think I wouldn't be here without him. I talked about my brothers. I talk about my two wonderful daughters. They actually teach me so much.
So true.
Right? So there is so much that you can find from your own family, find from network around, and I have such wonderful friends who keep giving me feedback directly on the face. I mean, that's what friends are for.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I would say.
That's where the inspiration comes from. So absolutely well said. I think sometimes you don't need that big kind of inspiration, or I want to be like this person, of course, but I'm hooked at this point by when you said that your family inspires you. You're so right, and this actually gets me back to my even my mom. She has been a teacher for whole of her life. So today Manjula, she's taking care of my nephew, my sister's son, and even today she's like 68 right now. But the way I see her dedication teaching him, or she takes care of him when my sister and my Jiju, they are working. So I've seen the dedication, and I feel it's hats off. Even at the age of 68, she's so dedicated on making sure that he gets a good education, or just because his parents are working, she's like, you know what, nobody gets this guy or this small guy neglected or something like that. So I absolutely agree with you. So thank you so much. I just wanted to share this thought that just came in my mind right now. So Manjula, with this thing, my next question to you is, you've been, as you said, that there are not so many women into this industry who've been really at this success level what you are today. So, and again, as you said, you have a family, lovely two daughters, as you mentioned right now. How do you get that? Because if you get a support, I think it's give and take in the family, because if you don't give it, it's just give and take, because there's a lot of love as well. How do you balance this all, Manjula? Or if you could just give some more tips with your experience to all the women who are watching this, or maybe later they are going to watch us, how do you get this work-life balance done? How did you do it? And even today at this position, I'm sure right now the responsibilities are more than 10 years back, than 5 years back. So how do you balance all this?
So people usually ask when they appear for come for interviews, right? How is the work-life balance in the company, right? And I personally feel that it's not the company that gives a work-life balance. It's actually you who actually make it happen. It's a personal choice of how you actually take a decision in terms of prioritization, right? My husband and I have made tough decisions in both our careers, and we've thought through it and we've made decisions. We did that because we knew we have each other's back.
Yeah.
So building that trust and support system is extremely important. And we've always understood that, even today, I was just telling him this morning that I think I'm doing a little more cooking than what I like. Don't want to do this.
I love this. Yes. Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I am a person who do not want to be running around in the kitchen when I have an extremely important meeting that's about to happen, right? it's a personal choice that we make, right? So one of the things that I did, which I learned again from my mother, is to have a support system that you can trust on early in life, right? I usually actually tell a lot of people who are close to me saying, I give credit for my career, other than my family and support system, to two people. I had someone called Sini who had lived with me for 14 years, she and her sister, who took care of my house. So I proudly say I outsource my house management. And I don't feel guilty about it.
Absolutely not. Yes.
And I also say that I owe a lot to Mukesh, who's my driver, plus everything. I mean, he takes care of a lot of things for us, right?
Yeah.
So finding a support system other than your family is also extremely important. After my mom retired, like you just said, she used to come whenever I had to travel. I've traveled to US when my daughter was less than a year old. If it wasn't for my mother-in-law or for my mother, who would come to Pune and took turns to take care of my daughter, I wouldn't have been able to do that, right? I have moved to a different type of job so that I could reduce travel when my kids were very small, and my husband is away studying, doing his PhD. And we took that call consciously, right? So I had my mother to fall back on because I knew that she could come, and my father would, without batting an eyelid, would say that, go, she needs you, right? So that's a support system that you need to build. A trusting support system. So with family, outside family, you need to build that. That's one thing that you can say. One of my friends, Manjula, recently came and talked to all the women in my company in India, and she said something which has struck a chord with me for a while. She actually says that self-care is not selfish.
Absolutely. Such a lovely thought. Wow.
Right? Yes. And I keep repeating that. I mean, I'm sure my women employees in my office would be bored about it, but it is so true, right? Unless you take care of yourself, you can't take care of your work, and you can't take care of your family. And I would also say that it's not that I knew all of this from the beginning. I did burn myself out at some point of time, realized that I need to cut back on certain things, and made sure I make changes to my style of working, style of life, all of that, right?
Yeah.
You are a Zumba expert. I started exercising only when I touched 40. But I realized at that point of time it is so critical.
Yeah.
Right? So there are a lot of things that you need to do to make sure that you're happy in what you're doing at home and at work. And that's where that balance comes.
That is so nice. So Manjula, I just want to appreciate you because whatever you're saying right now is, when you're talking right now, I just want to mention this. You are so clear about what you're talking, and you're so clear about what you want. So I think all the women, all men who are watching us, guys, I want you guys to feel this vibe that Manjula is giving us right now, because she's absolutely clear about what she wants. And Manjula, again, I want to say this. It's such a lovely thought what you mentioned, that just because today when you were cooking, for example, that you said, this is way too much cooking. I love that thought, because I'm sure there are so many women, so many girls who maybe just get newly married, or they want to do everything, but they've been put this thought, or there has been a thought put in their process that yes, you're the woman of the house and you're going to take care of this, but that's okay not to do something that I don't like. So this is a wonderful thought, Manjula. I want to say this, I'm really enjoying talking to you, because I feel so homely with you. Thank you so much. So with your experience, this is really serving good. So thank you so much for this insight. So Manjula, next comes, now let's take a small twist about this beautiful conversation, okay? Is there anything that is really funny, or a funny moment of your life, or anything that hilarious moment that you would like to share with all of us? The moment, something that happened in your life, it can be work life, personal life, anything that you would want to share. Even today when you think of it, you can just laugh for hours on that. Is there anything that you would like to share?
So, my name is Manjula Introduction, and I was meeting a set of new vendors who had come to office, talking about their work. And then somebody was really trying to be chatty and close because they wanted to win this deal, right?
Yeah.
And at the break, when we were having tea, he came and asked me, so what does Mr. Krishnan do? And I said, he used to be a lawyer. And then he said, so he used to be a lawyer, so what does he do now? It went on for some time that he was grilling me about the Christian. And at some point of time I said, you should stop. That isn't my husband, if you were asking. That's my father. And I had to tell him that it is not necessary that all of us change our names.
Yeah.
So don't assume. And you should have seen that guy's name. And he kept on and kept on and on till the time I had to tell him, stop. My husband's name is Prakash. He's doing well.
But what I appreciate is you did enjoy those times that he went on talking, and I'm sure he felt like he just got fooled or something. So that is so cool,
That's again
Manjula.
stereotyping.
I know that. So Manjula, do you get this type of comments because you are a woman of breaking stereotypes? Has it been to you that people see you like a typical lady or some like a stereotypes, but at the same time you kept on putting them down by saying that, hey, you know what, I'm not just a typical lady, I'm not just a stereotype, but I'm doing something else. Has there been any instances like this, or you would like to share something more like this?
Yeah, I mean, really, really bad examples because, so when you are in a room full of men and you're just the only woman, when it comes to tea, coffee time, the first thing that they do is to look at you because you are a woman.
Yeah.
Right? When you are at a table, even though you are the senior most person, you may be served the last because even the people who serve you think that you're just a woman there. And the rest are served first, even if you are a client.
Gosh.
Right?
I know what you're saying.
That
yes.
happen all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Even when you are in a situation where you know everyone, but you have an opinion, you say that, and a male colleague picks up the same thing, people would turn to the male colleague and say that, oh, okay, that's a great idea. And then you have to step in and say, that's what I said first.
And then yes, because you need to say it for yourself. It's like
Absolutely.
you have to fight for yourself. Yeah.
It happens all the time, right? So, I would actually say that there's a lot of awareness that is being built in now.
Yeah.
I work in a company where there's so much of, importance given to gender diversity and all of diversity and inclusion, right? I'm glad that I work for Ablada, but it has evolved over a period of time. What you have felt in the early 90s and early 2000s is not what you see today, right? A lot of people, but then you still face that at some point of time.
Yes.
And you need to make it a point to tell people that I'm here to do a job.
That is so true. So with this, Manjula, I'm just curious because you've been traveling around the world. So is this specific kind in just India, or have you experienced such kind of instances around the world, or
Around
it's just
the world.
around the world?
Yeah, I mean, you won't believe that, but it
Yes.
happens across.
Are you kidding me? Because I thought we have been brought up in this country where women has supposed to be, she's put in this frame, and this is, I've seen it with my experiences, but around the world is kind of shocking me because I thought things will be different and much more liberal there.
I don't think there is any place where a gender stereotyping does not happen.
Okay.
I don't think so. Maybe in some places there is a little more of awareness than what we have.
Yeah.
But I think it happens everywhere.
That is.
If it
such
is
a
not
good
gender,
insight.
if it's some other type of stereotyping.
Yeah. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Manjula, for letting us know this, and it kind of shakens us, but that has been the reality. But I think I'm hoping because my daughter is 14, maybe 10 years later, it's going to get better. It's going to, I hope she gets less experiences than what you got, or maybe I got, or then maybe she gets it less, because the way even we are raising our daughters, there's nothing like a girl-boy thing. Sometimes, I worry about this thing, Manjula, that the way she has been in, the freedom we give her, freedom of thought, just because she's a girl, or it's nothing like that. So even today, I tell her that be on your own. I want you to, just earn for yourself. I don't want you to get married because somebody's going to take care of you or something like that. So because yes or no, Manjula, 17, 20 years back, even I come from that kind of background. That was a fact. Yes, my mom dad made me brought up in this beautiful freedom and stuff, but there was this one point when you cross your graduation age and everybody starts talking about the same thing. So keeping fingers crossed, and I think after 10 years something much less experiences when it comes to a female gender. Yes.
Definitely, and I think that they will have it much better than what we've had.
Yes.
I'm really hopeful because you can see the change that's
Yeah. So true. Thank you so much, Manjula. With this, we're going to go to this next game, which I told you is a surprise game. But don't worry, you know all these words.
right.
Okay, now this next game is something called as rapid fire.
Okay.
Now, what this game has set of not more than 6 to 7 words. Okay, and every time I say a word, I want you to tell me something that comes first to your mind. It can be a statement, it can be a word, anything, and you just have 1 to 5 seconds, okay, not more, anything that comes to your mind. And guess what, I have done my homework. I have worked on some IT words.
Don't ask me any questions on technology, okay?
No, it's a mixed thing. Oh my god.
Okay.
I worked hard, Manjula. You have to help me with this rapid fire. Okay. Now let me start with this. The first word is clients.
Clients, right? Treat them like kings and queens. Let me just say that.
I love this. Project.
Deadlines, ever shifting.
That's nice. Color. The next one is color.
Orange.
You love orange. That's nice.
No, that's my company's color. So if you look at my background.
Yes, I can see that. Yes. Deployment.
Failure.
I know about this. Okay, next one word is my favorite because I've seen my husband using it so many times. Next word is escalation.
Happens every day. That's life.
That's life. The next one is I love.
Reading, gardening, my dog, my cat.
Yes, you are a pet person. I saw that. So I hate.
Really? I hate being put down, being cut off when I talk.
Yes.
Being
I love you.
told to do what is expected.
Manjula, I love you more today. After this especially. I love this. The next one is life.
It's beautiful.
And the last one is peace.
At home.
Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you so much, Manjula.
I hope I did well.
Yes, you did amazing. And this is amazing. So Manjula, before we say bye-bye to everybody, is there any specific message, like a motivational message or an inspiration or something that you just want to talk out your heart to? Let it be a man, woman, anybody watching us today or who are going to watch us later. Is there any message that you want to convey to all?
Sure. So we had this event that happened in office, on 8th of March. And one of my colleagues, Bhumika, had a phenomenal video 30-second videos that she made. And I actually wanted to say that to every woman out there, and of course men as well, right? And she said, choose to challenge self-doubt. Don't ever doubt yourself, right? You are capable, you are good. And I just want to say that out to everyone. And you don't define success basis on anybody else's definition. I define success by the distance that I have traveled, not by where I am today.
That is so nice. Gosh, I love this. Guys, self-doubt. I think that has been an enemy forever for so many of us. So Manjula, with this I just want to share something. So I'm also, as I mentioned, I'm a Zumba education specialist. So Manjula, right now due to this COVID time, we also have some of the programs coming up from the Zumba company, which is only for Zumba instructors, and in which we have this program called as Take the Lead. So this program is a skills, soft skills program, or like life skills program and all. So in that program, we always talk about confidence, that is confidence, that is about trusting yourself. And that also says that self-doubt is the enemy of every progression or successful point that you have. So well said about self-doubt. I think I know Bhumika, so I just want to send, if Bhumika is watching us right now, Bhumika, that's a beautiful message. And thank you so much, Manjula, for sharing this with all of us.
Thank you
And
so much, Veda.
it has been a pleasure to have you, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. Means a lot.
It has been an honor. It is lovely to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So here's the end of today's live, everybody. Thank you so much, Manjula, again. Thank you. I just want to say thanks to Tilak and Bhumika as well for coordinating it so amazingly. And thanks to Sameer, because of him that I know you right now. So thank you, and it's a bye-bye time.